Easing back into homeschooling after the holidays. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha, homeschool mama and business owner. Today we're going to be talking about easing back into a homeschooling routine after the holidays. Today is January 8th and we just started this week homeschooling again. We had a pretty long Christmas break. We basically went on break by the third week of Christmas of December. By the third week of December, we went on break and we've pretty much been on break ever since. We did need the time off just because certain things weren't working. I also work from home because I run a business with my husband and I do the background logistics. I do like the online marketing of that business. Then I've also started a YouTube channel and I really needed to get organized on how I'm going to homeschool and do these other tasks. So I took the time for us to have family time and vacation and just relax and get a break. But also I needed a reset so I could really find a new routine and schedule that would work for us. The kids really enjoyed that time off. They did a lot of just riding their bikes, playing with their friends. It was a well-needed break. The beginning of January, I used to really come up with a schedule that would work with, me working from home and homeschooling my kids. I also put them in jujitsu training, so they're now going to be doing that twice a week. We're really excited about that. They've already had 3 classes and they're really enjoying it, so I'm super excited. So with that being said, I did need to create a better schedule that would work for all these things while still leaving some flexibility in there for things like when things just don't go our way and when they're going wrong. Before the Christmas break, I was doing a 3-day school schedule because I work from home. I didn't want to have I didn't want to do every single day because I just found that it didn't leave enough room for me to do other things or have more flexibility. I really wanted it to be specific days. I was doing 3 days a week, Monday through Wednesday, where we were doing morning menu, handwriting, language arts, math, and then reading. We also have our walk, which is part of our routine. So I was trying to squeeze all this in 3 days, all these subjects. In the beginning, it was working out, but once I started doing more content creation for Instagram and trying to get organized with also applying more videos to YouTube, I could not keep up with that schedule. It was also too much for my kids. My 8-year-old has ADHD and autism, and he has a hard time with math. And it's not that he doesn't understand it, he just hates doing it. Looking at numbers really sets him off and drives him a little crazy. So when I was doing all these other subjects and then also trying to do math, by the time we got to math, even if I would try to do it first, somewhere in there we would get to a subject where they just didn't want to focus and didn't want to listen anymore. Now, what I've decided to do now is I have come up with a block schedule. So I'm doing the block scheduling where I'm blocking in time for homeschool and then I'm blocking in time for working from home. And then, of course, I will split tasks within those. As far as our homeschool schedule, I have gone from doing 3 days to now 4 days a week. And instead of trying to cramp up all these subjects into the same day, I'm pretty much just splitting the math and language arts because those are the main subjects that take longer increments of time. So instead of trying to do them both on the same days, I am trying to do them separately. So I'm going to show you guys in a minute because I also bought a homeschool planner. I wasn't using one originally. I was just kind of writing down what we want to do through the week and allowing us the wiggle room to do that. But being that I want to be a little bit more intentional with my time, I decided to buy a simple homeschool planner that didn't involve too much going on just so we can continue to have that flexibility. I also don't plan too far ahead because that just doesn't work for our home. It just doesn't work that way. So I will show you guys the homeschool planner in just a minute. So our homeschool schedule now is between the hours of 9 to 12, 4 days a week. And we are doing the handwriting, morning menu, language arts, or math. So we are not doing both on the same day, language arts or math. And then our reading, and then we have our morning walk, which I do include that within our homeschool time because it just gives us room to, spend time together outdoors before we start on our lessons. And it just gives the kids a good way to get out a lot of that energy, get some sun before we dive into doing our lessons. When it comes to other subjects, I am going to be throwing those in once or twice a month. This month, I decided to get the Zoo Box subscription because my kids love learning about animals. And so I decided to try out the Zoo Box subscription where they send you a box, and in that box, it will have a specific animal. It'll have a book about that animal that you guys can read together, a stuffy, and then it'll also have some STEM activities and arts and crafts activities that you can do with them. So using that subscription, I'm going to use that for our science once a month or twice a month. So I'm going to kind of throw that in there flexibly. So I think I got a little off track there. I wanted to say, so as far as the schedule goes, we are doing homeschooling between 9 to 12, and then 12 to 1, we're doing our lunch and we're having lunch together. And then between 1 to 3:30, which is 2.5 hours, I am blocking that time out for all of my work tasks. And then after my work tasks at 3:30 for the evening, then we have our regular, like the same routine that we have in the evenings, which is like that's my time to cook dinner, spend some time with the kids, then eat dinner, showers, chores, things like that. Because between 8 and 9, it's bedtime. They need to go to bed. We may read a story if we have time to do that, and then they'll go to bed. So that's basically my new schedule. I am going to show you guys in just a minute. I'm going to flip this camera around and I'm going to show you guys the block schedule that I came up with for this year. And then I'm also going to show you guys the homeschool planner that I got from Amazon. Starting with the block schedule, I actually used ChatGPT to help me come up with this because, I have ADHD. I am not the best at organizing my time. It just doesn't come natural or easy to me. And that may be the case for everybody. So I don't even know. I just know that for me, I decided to tell ChatGPT exactly what it is that I do, what time I wanted to kind of be up by, what I wanted to fit into the day, and I said, help me come up with a routine, a daily routine for this. And this was what came up, and I just kind of modified it based off of what I wanted to implement throughout the day. So that's what this printout is what ChatGPT came up with for me. And then I just modified it based off of what I really wanted to implement. And then I also rewrote it on my own little piece of paper here because Thursdays, every other Thursday, open for my kids' therapy sessions. So some weeks our 4-day schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then some weeks it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So depending on what that is, I modified the schedule and I just rewrote my own in the same way. Not only did I write it and staple it here so that I can reference this anytime, but I also put it on my calendar, which this calendar isn't exactly made for the hours, but I just kind of squeezed it in here. So you can see our Tuesday block schedule, and then you can see today's block schedule. Today we have jujitsu. The kids have jujitsu training, and they are in 2 different classes. So that does take up 2 hours of our evening. But to me, it's worth it because it's only twice a week. And the jujitsu center that I found also helps the kids learn discipline and responsibility. They talk about that within the class, not just defense mechanisms, which I like the idea of the boys learning both. So this would be the routine for like today, Wednesday the 8th. And then I have tomorrow's schedule on here and Friday's schedule, which we do have an appointment on Friday. So as you can see, I do not have homeschool in this routine. This week, because it's the first week, I decided to only do 3 days. We didn't do Monday because I was still prepping our curriculums and things for this week. So this week we are doing a 3-day schedule. And then next week we'll go on to our 4-day schedule. This is a homeschool planner that I purchased off of Amazon. Now, I really like this homeschool planner because I have bought other homeschool planners in the past and they were literally double, even triple this size. They were huge, huge. And I know that there's lots of homeschool families out there that that plan out their entire year, the entire year. That is just not something that I'm capable of. I plan either week by week or maybe even by the month, depending on what month it is and what I know is going on. So I'm going to show you guys this book because it's really great. I love that it is a simple, not too much going on, but still has room for everything. So here you have your curriculum and resources page. Closer, here you have your curriculum and resources page. So you can write all the curriculums you're using for each kid. Then you have an area for accounts, passwords, websites that you might be using. And then you have pages for field trips if you pre-plan any field trips, or even after you do them, so you can write them down so you know what you did that year. Homeschool connections, so families that you've met or groups, you can write those down in here. Families that you've met and that you can put their name and phone number. Of course, most of us are going to do that in our phone anyway, but this is nice to have. This is the reading list page. I actually really, really like this because it's just a cute little fun way to write down all the books that you've read together. So I really like this page. And you have a couple of pages of that. Then you can plan certain things a year ahead. I don't have anything in here because, again, I do not plan ahead like that. I plan week by week or month. Okay, so starting with January. Now, for January, I plan the entire month. You can see what I kind of have in here. Get on routine is my most important, that I just want to remind myself. The most important thing for me is just us staying within that routine so that I can be as productive as possible with our homeschool and also with my business. Here is January's month ahead. I have highlighted the jujitsu classes. The first 2 weeks, we are doing 3 classes. After that, we will be doing 2 classes a week. And then I have like our appointments. So main things that is just, attached to my kids, I will have on this calendar. Okay, here. This is the lesson planner that I filled in. So this is this week because it's only 3 days. You can see I kind of modified it. Like, we made the snow for the zoo box. Then we just kind of did a discussion on new things we learned reading the book. 10 minutes of reading, 15 minutes doing our morning menu. So for today, we did do a math game, but we only focused on adding for today. We played a board game and we also did a bubble bonds game. So this is our schedule. And then I did schedule out the following week. And I pretty much planned out this entire month because I wanted to plan out when we were going to be jumping into our curriculum, which I'm going to talk about that in a second. We have not jumped into the curriculum just yet because we are easing back into our routine. So I just wanted to show you guys a little bit in this book. So that's like each week. I think there's one more week here before it goes on to the following month, which I have not filled in yet because I am not that far ahead. And then it goes into the following month. So pretty much all of the pages look like this. This is where you would fill in the month. And then here you go, week by week, your lessons. In the very far back, so you have the whole year. And then all the way in the back, we have, let's see if I can open it. Okay, then we have the attendance record for those who want to track attendance for the year. You have space for that. You have the student checklist, which for me, I don't think I'd use this page. I don't really know what I'd use this for just yet, so we'll see. Homeschool budget. So maybe you would put like a monthly budget of what you'd like to do, or also the money that you've spent on your homeschooling materials and curriculum for the year. You can put notes and keep track of that. See how much money you're spending yearly just on homeschooling alone. Then you have review and reflect. So it even has a page where you can do a year in review, and you can write down some of the best things that happened throughout the year, and even put photos in here for that. So I actually think that's really cool. That way I can kind of reflect on the year as we go through it. So that is a homeschool planner, an essential organizer that I have. I'm going to link it below if it's something that you'd like to check out. It'll be in the description below. Now that I've taken care of creating a whole new routine for myself, for my entire household, and getting that going, okay, easing into the routine after such a long break, can be really hard. I was not sure how I was going to do it originally. However, I did decide that we weren't going to jump right into our curriculum where we left off our lessons. I decided I wanted to do review. So for these first 2 weeks, that is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be reviewing concepts through games and play and just kind of easing into like transitioning into we're doing schoolwork again because during one sec, give me one sec, because my kids are outside playing now. They were inside when I came out here originally. So yes, transitioning from being on this like I think we were basically on almost a whole month long break, getting back into schooling. I knew that jumping in just wouldn't work for my kids, it wouldn't work for me. So I didn't want to just jump into the lesson where we left off. What I decided to do is just start reviewing concepts that we were working on through games and play. So, for example, yesterday we focused on language arts. So we did. I took words that we were working on from our Booster A books with the good and the beautiful. I put those on flashcards and we did a fly swap. What is it? Fly swap game? Yes. I know you guys have probably heard of it, or you might have seen the idea online, or you may have even seen like a board game. So that is what we did with flashcards. I just put them out on the table and I would say a word and then they would have to find the word and swat it with a spatula is what we did. They love that game, especially because they tend to want to like whack the flies like super crazy. I have to set limits on how many times they're allowed to swat it because they're just extra. So, that's pretty much how we're reviewing our concepts and getting back into our routines. That way, they still did like their morning menu and their handwriting. They still did those things because those are just easy for them to jump into right away. And then, as far as our language arts and our math, I made it more about games and reviewing. So today we played a adding board game, so we did that for about 20 minutes until someone won or lost. Well, until someone won, pretty much. And then we did do the zoo box science. So I was able to fit that in because we're doing games for math and for language arts. So I was able to squeeze in there like 30 minutes of science with the My Zoo Box because they were super excited about trying that out. We actually got that Zoo Box in December, but I didn't hit it because we were on break. So we're learning about Arctic foxes, right? Arctic foxes. And they were super excited about that. So once we finished our games, then we just sat down on the couch and read the Arctic Fox game and did a little activity from that. And that is pretty much what we're going to be doing for this week and next week before we jump into working out of our books again. So as I wrap up this video, I just want to remind all the mamas out there that it is okay to start off slow. It's okay to take your time and ease back into things by just reviewing previous concepts and materials that you were going over before the holiday break. Getting back to a routine is the most important, and that is still valuable learning. But if you're the type that prefers to just jump right back into the lessons, and that's what works for you and your family, that's amazing too. The beauty of homeschooling is that you get to do what works best for your family. So whether you're diving in head first or you're easing into it step by step, just remember you are doing amazing. You're doing what's right for your kid. Give yourself grace, stay flexible, and know that this journey is about progress and not perfection. If you're easing back into homeschooling or jumping right in, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.